Boy, have we just really landed in upside down crazy world, it seems. Or, it's just a classic case of face-eating leopards eating the face of somebody who was the one of the most staunch voters for the leopard eating face party, however that thing goes, the people say. Marjorie Taylor Green has had this huge article come out from the New York Times. It is really, 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 really long. It's that's one really per 10 minutes of the thing. So that was four reallys. I don't know if you got that. 40 minutes. It was a 40-minute read. Not even kidding. And thankfully, you can listen to it if you have that, that ability. You can just push play, and the nice computer voice lady will read you the entire article, which is great. But yeah, it's crazy. I was kind of surprised by a lot of the stuff that was coming up there that she was talking about. I mean, I guess I don't know if I was surprised that that like it happened, I guess, or that Trump did what he did, but I was surprised that she was the one saying it. You know what I mean? So, so this is I'm going to read from Mediaite. It's like the seven splashiest Trump attacks by Marjorie Taylor Green in the blockbuster New York Times feature. Uh, I do recommend that everybody go, read the full article because it there's a lot in there. I do want to make clear too that I'm like, I don't. This doesn't change my opinion of Marjorie Taylor Greene. She's still a psycho, and like one of the main things that Trump kind of didn't do that she wanted him to was something that it makes her like more horrible than him in that 1 second, just for like half a second, which was her pushing for her anti-trans bill. But anyway, so this is let's see, like I said, these are kind of the main takeaways from this massive article that came out in the New York Times. So this one is so funny to me. It's the number. This is the first one from Mediaite. Greene says that Trump's Christian faith is performative. What? He's dead. What? Oh my God, you're just not figuring this out? Really? You serious about this one? My goodness. Not that I want him as an atheist, you can keep, we don't want him either. Okay. No, I don't, you can keep him over on your Fundie side, right? Yeah, not surprised though. His God is power. That's the God that he worships. And he's kind of obsessed with it. And so he's one of those, like I say, like crackheads for power that will literally say anything they have to get what they want, which is power, just like a crackhead will, when he's telling you that, hey, I just got to buy a fix-a-flat for my entire family that's in the car right down, or don't worry about it. Give me the fix-a-flat. It's like $20, $20 would be great. 15, I could probably find $5 somewhere else if you're going to give me $10 would be great. Yeah, that's Trump, but for power though, just willing to say any nonsense. It's also my birthday. Yeah, I know it's crazy that this would happen on my birthday. Why do people always do that? Why do they always say that it's their birthday? Does that make me more likely to help you out? Like, 'cause I still am broke either way, whether it's your birthday or not. Anyway, so this one was kind of funny. But Green's break begins with not policy, but faith. She told the Times a moment at Kirk's memorial permanently changed how she viewed Trump. And I wonder too, because this, a lot of this, is taking place because of Charlie Kirk, his funeral and everything, and sort of the reactions afterwards. And I wonder if like a lot of this is like, kind of being seared in her mind about how you're remembered as, a public figure, like how Charlie Kirk was. And so I wonder if like she's like, you know what? I need to flip. I don't want to go down like that. You know what I mean? Like I want to be remembered as somebody that actually lives their beliefs at the very least, and not just a mindless Trump cult follower, But after Kirk's widow forgave her husband's alleged assassin, Trump took this to the stage to reflect that the late conservative activist did not hate his opponents and wanted wanted the best for them. Only to add, "That's right, I disagree with Charlie. I hate my my opponents, and I don't want the best for them." Greene claimed she recoiled at that remark. That was absolutely the worst statement. Again, like it's so weird the stuff that they choose to be like, hold on, whoa, Trump, let's put on the brakes, because it's like, really, that's it, that's where you draw the line. But I but hey, I guess everybody's got their line, and I guess when you're that deep in the cult, what breaks you breaks you. I don't know, but that one really bothered her for some reason. She's like, "Hold on, we're supposed to." Jesus said, you know, that guy that I totally live in accordance with all of the things that he says. That we need to love our enemies, and yeah, that's never been Trump. But yeah, it was absolutely the worst statement. So it just shows where his heart is. She told the Times. As opposed to all the other things, like his truth socials that say where his heart is, which is not in any sense Christianity ever, but like actual Christianity or whatever anybody would describe as like what they would think of as a true Christian or whatever. But see, and that's the difference with her having a sincere Christian faith. That's the funny part too. She said, "I have a sincere Christian faith." And it's like, okay, yeah, sure, why not? But and that proves he does not have any faith. Just because, like, he's saying stuff that's directly in contrast to things Jesus said. But like, can't he was bragging about grabbing women by the like, are you like serious, man? Like that, but that you're like, hold on, is Trump not a Christian? Is he just lying or something? Yes, you dumb fool. Are you serious? Wow. I just kind of couldn't believe it. Anyway, second one here is Greene claims Trump privately admitted he wanted to protect his friends from any Epstein revelations. That's pretty crazy. And the funny thing is, too, apparently she put the phone on speaker so like people could hear him like berating her, and I guess he just kept repeating that, "Hey, you're going to get my friends in trouble. I got all these friends. They're going to get in trouble. We got to stop. Why are you doing it? We can't have it released. You're going my friends, though." She's not me, of course. Like, yeah, right. It's you too. You are one of your friends, aren't you, Trump? And yeah, he is. I guarantee it. Trump insisted her fiercest clash with Trump wasn't over policy, but over forcing the release of documents tied to Epstein. It was Epstein. Epstein was everything, she said bluntly. The Congresswoman recounted how the president called to scream at her, which is great. I mean, you're like thinking that like, oh yeah, no, that's just metaphor. No, guaranteed, he literally screamed. He was at the top of the lungs, the phone crackling as it's clipping and everything. Her after she stood alongside Epstein victims at a Capitol Hill press conference demanding transparency. She said she put him on speaker, and everyone in the office complex could hear. So that is, which was smart on her part too, so that Trump can't do this thing. We're like, oh, she's just mad about something else. She lied. No, other people heard it, dude. So you can't try to play those games. I mean, he could still try it. He probably still will, but yeah, it's not going to work as well. We'll just put it that way. But again, it's a cult, so he can kind of just Jedi mind trick everybody whenever he feels like it, like he's trying to do with the economy. Everything is cheaper. Okay, yeah. Don't look at your bills. Everything is cheaper. Don't look at them. Don't compare this year to last year. Don't do it. So later in a text, she claims he confessed why he was enraged at her. My friends will get hurt. Jesus. This is number 3. Greene blames Trump for training GOP on toxic policies or toxic politics. Yeah, you don't think he had anything to do with that? lady? You didn't take part in that? You didn't, like, I don't know, even profit from that politically, like a lot from that toxic politics, really? Jesus Christ, lady, come on. Green framed her breaks as as a reckoning with confrontational tactics she once embraced. She blamed Trump for training Republicans, which is an interesting way to say that. He trained us to do this, that was what we got from that course. That's right. After they got rid of all DEI, they replaced them with just call everybody names and never admit when you're wrong and just keep on lying. Just like, by lying, I mean like saying the exact opposite of reality and not just stretching the truth or anything. Yeah, no, that's they took a course. My God, are you serious? By the tactics she once embraced, she blamed Trump for training Republicans to treat politics as endless conflict. Yeah, it's called divide and conquer. Again, the power stuff. Remember the thing he's obsessed with, and that's how you get it. You erode all of the institutions and any kind of trust in those institutions, so that way, everything's on equal footing. Hey, my word's no better than the institution that says that this isn't true because of all the evidence. Because it's corrupt. Not me though. I'm not corrupt. The institution is. Jesus. Um. So one. What was it? Oh, our side has been trained by Donald Trump to never apologize and to never admit when you're wrong, she said. You just keep pummeling your enemies no matter what. And as a Christian, I don't believe in doing that anymore. Just a couple of seconds ago I did, but now I don't. I don't anymore. Just, new person here. Folding over on a new leaf there, a new Christianer. I know I was a Christian before, but now I'm a better kind of Christian. Anyway, she continued, after Charlie Kirk died, I realized that I'm part of this toxic culture. I really started looking at my faith. Yeah, it's just the way that this is, what is it, I mean, just the way that this is what is bringing everything to the forefront of her mind. It's like, what about my Christian faith though? Where was that? I don't know, like a couple of years ago. Like, what the fuck? All of a sudden, it's really important though now, huh? It's, again, I think she got scared when she saw what, there's actually people getting literally hurt, and the people that are getting literally hurt are also on your side. Oh, now we're like, oh man, I gotta shape up, you know, um, which is crazy. But Green warns Trump has a woman problem. This one's kind of funny too. Like again, another brand new revelation in her mind. You're like, hold on a second, does he like not like women or something? No, he doesn't like what are you serious? How are you just now realizing this? This is crazy. I don't even know how this was a bombshell. It's not, but I mean, it is in the sense that her realizing it makes it a bombshell, but it's not a bombshell. It's not, you know what I mean? It's just like, yeah, no shit. He said that he grabs women by the pussy. Like, we know this. This is not new to anybody but you, lady. But the Congresswoman gave her husband, Real America's Voice Chief White House correspondent Brian Glenn, a blunt diagnosis of Trump's attacks on female reporters in the press corps. The president lashed out at several reporters in November. Yeah, and it's gotten crazy, like just name calling, and of course, a lot of times it's like when it's a black woman, it's even worse. He like really goes off the handle, just calling him stupid and just crazy shit that like nobody would ever accept this from any other president ever. Like it's crazy that this dude is able to get away with this type of shit. But there's the world we're in. Despite one amiable interaction that seemed to counter the trend, she told Glenn the president was playing nice because he knows he has a woman problem. So apparently he was nice to one woman one time, and everybody's like, "What about that though?" Because that's the way they on the MAGA side. That's the way they debate. They're like, "What about that one thing? That cancels everything out, though, right? That one thing that we could say. What about that? That's how we do it." This is crazy too. Number 5, Greene feared being murdered after Trump branded her a traitor. Jeez Louise. Yeah. And for good reason too. It's not, this isn't, and it's wild that it's, yeah, that's great. So Trump branded her a traitor, right? Is that when Trump dropped his endorsement of her on November 17th and called her a traitor, he called her Marjorie Taylor Green. Very good. Him with the name calling, man. He's just, he's like a brilliant 12-year-old at the middle school playground. And Trader Green and her husband were in shock. Like Greene and her husband were in shock. Traitors are put in prison or put to death. She said she told her husband at the time. That's what he just called me, though. Yeah. The thing that he's been calling Democrats and stuff willy-nilly. And you even engaged in that exact same thing when it comes to Pelosi, and even made sure to explain that that's what happens to traitors when you were saying it about other members of Congress. But now he says it about you. And then almost immediately, like he says it about her, right? And this is, they elaborate on this in the article. But almost immediately, she starts getting threats. And not just any threats. It was like the person threatened her kid, her college-age son, and threatened his life, And then not long after that, there was a bomb threat on the construction company, I guess she asked, and then also a bomb threat on her house. So she had like 3 different things that all happened just real fast. And it's crazy that none of that came from the radical left. I thought the violent radical left would have been the first people that would come after her, and it's said she's never had anything to say about any of that. But, all of a sudden getting these violent threats. And of course, it's coming from the violent political party, which is yours, lady. Jesus. But the wild thing was after that, she messaged Trump, and was like, "Hey, what the hell, dude?" Like, she's like, "Do you know that my kid's like being threatened? Like, people are threatening my kid's life, in a text message." And he was like, "You brought this on yourself with your lack of blind loyalty, And she was like, "What the?" And just basically just being a dickhead about it. And she, I guess, took his response and then went and showed it to JD Vance, and he was actually nice about it. They're like, "What the heck? How come he's the nice guy about this?" And it's crazy, out of those two complete creeps, both of them, somehow JD comes out on top of even those two, which is crazy. I mean, it's just a photo finish of assholery, but he managed to lick him at the last second, I guess. But yeah, it's just, that's insane to me. But so Greene contrasts Trump with JD Vance's response to death threats. One day after the traitor post, Greene allegedly received a bomb threat and a chilling message about her son. Multiple bomb threats, by the way. And what did he say? Her assessment of Vance is pointedly human. He was very sympathetic and kind. One White House official showed the Times Greene's texts from that time, fuming that no one would condemn the comment. None of you even give a shit. That's what she said. Because everybody's like, "Well, sorry, hey, you didn't remain a crazy loyalist cult follower for every second. So, the second that you kind of start to not agree with every single thing that comes out of Trump's face, then that's it. You're done. You're a traitor now. You're a traitor." After everything that she had given to that guy, now she's a traitor. Amazing. And for something so obvious, it's like this. It's so crazy. The fact that she was like pushing to have the files released. I mean, she's just like, what are you even talking about? Because he was like, Trump was like, "No, we can't release the files and everything." And she's like, "Why?" Like, clearly, he was at, there was claims that like he was at the Mar-a-Lago resort, and Trump had enough with him, and he was like, "You're out of here, bucko, with all your sick child stuff. I don't even want to say it. Get your but out of my Mar-a-Lago, whatever. So she was like, "What's the problem? Like, this isn't. There's all they're going to do is see that you're actually the good guy," because she was a true believer, which is still just baffling to me. But and he was like, "Nope, nope, we can't do it. It's not me. This is so funny. It's my friends. It's just my friends. You know, I have a lot of really awful, disgusting, terrible friends, apparently, and they're gonna you know, it's gonna hurt them, not me, but them too. But they'll be mad at me though, which would make me feel bad too. So you know, I'm in there as well. But Jesus Christ, and to be, you know, for her to be like playing that out loud, so everybody that's in her office area was like, "Oh, his friends, you say? Okay, Jesus, wonder who all they are," you know. And one of the things was she like met with the victims, right? She like had the victims come down and she talked to them, and you know, of course, it was very traumatic, you know, and so there was a lot of tears involved, just like really heavy stuff when she's listening to these women's stories, and so and her heart kind of just it straight broke and melted for these people, which is nice to know that at least she has a heart there to be melted when I guess it finally gets to her. But and you know, she met with them, like really did empathize with their situation and everything like that. And you know, when she asked Trump, she's like, can we bring the victims down? You can meet with the victims. Because again, she's still thinking he's totally innocent in this whole thing. And so she's like, just bring them down. We'll meet with the victims. And you know, you can and he said that they didn't do anything to merit the honor to come to the White House, which I like. Wait, but Nick Fuentes was there with Kanye West, the dude that you know wore the sock over his face and said he loved Hitler. With they merited the they had that they merited the honor. Those idiots, Kid Rock, Roseanne Barr, they merited the honor to be able to be in the magical presence of His Majesty, Nine God. I mean Trump, whatever. Everybody's else's God, the second God. You know, he's the it's a not a trinity anymore. It's a quadrillary. Quadrillary is that how you say it? Yeah, let's go with quadrillary. Because Trump, Holy Spirit, Son, Father. That's how it goes now. It's four is a new magic number. Anyway, Greene says, um, Greene says this is number 7. This is the last one. Greene says GOP leaders tried to put her back in her box, which another thing is kind of funny that she doesn't know how her own party works. Because yeah, the Conservative Party is nothing but boxes. That's sort of their whole bag. Their bag is a box, you know, because they don't. That's all they do. Everything. It's all supposed to. Hey, you're supposed to be doing this. You're supposed to be like that. Anybody not doing what they're supposed to do, well, they're going to get a firm talking to or called a traitor, kicked out of the whatever, kicked out of the party. But like, yeah, that's their whole thing. And women specifically, I mean, the fact that she even made it to where she was at, I think was just a testament to just how loyal she was to that dude because he hates women. And so do all of them. They all hate women, especially women that are not in the kitchen, you know, making that Brian feller a sandwich. You know, if they're not doing that, well, then they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. And if you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, well, that's then they got a problem, right? Conservatives, that's their whole bag. It's just everything's supposed to be in this little tiny box. Gender is, it's men do this, women do that. There will shall never be any crossing of the two. And there's definitely no nuance between these things. Absolutely not. Like so, but for her to be like, oh wait a second, they're trying to tell me to try to keep me in a box. Yeah, dude, you picked the wrong party, man. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. Jesus. But Greene described the Republican leader's reaction to her post-Trump attack media appearances, including a sit-down on ABC's The View, which is kind of funny, and on Real Time with Bill Maher. Okay, Interesting. I kind of want to go check that out, but I was actually gonna, because I do want to react to one thing that I've got in that vein after this, but I didn't. I'm gonna get popped for that. That's HBO. You can't just react to Bill Maher. That's no way. But all of a sudden, I'm in places that you're not supposed to be. See what I mean? The supposed to. That's their whole back. She said she mocked their alleged scorn and fury with a mocking impression as deliberately sexist. Little MTG, you get back in your little fucking box in the kitchen and shut up and cook us dinner and stay there. And she's like, that's ridiculous. What is can't that's the way they were being. And then, can you believe that the Republicans were telling the woman that she needs to stay in her fucking box and get back in the kitchen? Whoa, really? That's crazy. Who would have thought that? Everybody would have thought that. Like, how did you make it this long, lady? I'm so fucking confused by this whole thing. It's insane. But anyway, all right. So now check this out. So she went, and this was a little bit ago, but it's kind of because of all this stuff coming out. I feel like it's a good time to be able to check it out. We got this conversation that she had with one of the ghouls supreme, Megyn Kelly. She's on the Megyn Kelly show. Yeah.
All right. So The View. Why on earth would you go into that snake pit?
How dare you go to a place? And by the way, she said when she went on there that she was actually felt very supported by those women. And so that was kind of funny. But I'm kind of curious how she's going to frame it here.
They invited me. Seriously. So this is interesting. There's a group of hardcore America First people like me that are blacklisted on Fox News. They fired Tucker Carlson, and pretty much ever since.
I mean, it did cost him billions in lawsuits from his lies. That they then had to be like, we're allowed to lie because
that Tucker,
we're not news. Okay, we are news commentary. So it's not news. No idiot would actually believe news from Fox. Come on, dude. What are you even doing? That was literally their defense. But let me say hey real quick. How's everybody doing? Everybody feeling all right? Did y'all check out the article yet? Let me see. Hold on. Let me see who won today. Ember won. What's good? Yep, you did. Very good. Yep. You are the first one, as I could see. Avast. Ye land lover. Yes, Avast. And ye land lover. What's up, Rochelle? How we doing? What's up? MTG is still a disgusting person. 100%. Yeah. I mean, half of like why I'm breaking this down is because of all the people think, well, maybe we were wrong. Maybe we were wrong about old Marge. I'm going to start calling her Marge. Because I feel like we could, we have that connection. No, dude. No, she's still shit. She's still a terrible person. But, a lot of people are just talking about her like she's so great. Just because she happened to get caught in the machine that she had been helping build that caught, thousands of people, is right now catching random fucking people and dragging them over state lines because of ICE and everything like that. They pulled over a guy just for having a Mexican flag on their car. They're like, oh no, is that a Mexican flag in the car? We got to get this guy. We got to get him. You could just be driving around with those kinds of flags on your car. What do you even think is happening right here? Jesus Christ. Anyway, and then let's see who else we got here. What's up, Mason? How we doing, dude? What's up? We got Michael. And what's it? Abel Hardy. What's up, dude? So, can you shout me out? Yeah, I just did. That's what I just did. Michael said, almost enough to make an atheist believe in a God, but still not quite surprising. That's right. Yeah, almost there, but not quite. Pandora's Spindiana, how we doing, dude? What's up? It's great to see you. Oh yeah. Let's see. Resist oppression. What's up? Oh yeah, very cool, very cool. Yeah, there are lots of folks. Ralph is here. Let me see. Boone is here. What's up, Boone? Robin, how we doing, Robin? Aunt Jer, what's up, Aunt Jer? How you doing? And then, yeah, we'll just go with that. But all right, let me get back to the video. But I'll be keeping an eye on the chat there.
He used to have me on when he was on Fox News.
Yep.
And ever since then, I'm pretty much blacklisted. They'll talk about me on Fox News. They'll show videos of me and things that I said, but they never have me on. So I've done mostly conservative podcasts and so forth. Did your show, which is amazing. I do Tucker's show, Steve Bannon, different shows like that. But they actually invited, and I thought to myself, you know what? I definitely would like to talk to them and talk to their audience. And so I decided that our country is so toxic, politically toxic, and it really bothers me
because of you. You were the one doing. You stood up and shouted at Biden when he was giving his speech and everything, like with just the most unhinged fucking behavior. And you took part in it, and now you're like, hold on, this is bad though. Wait a second. I feel like something is about to break here, and it's not going to be good.
Because ever since Charlie was assassinated, I'm concerned of where that's going, especially for our kids.
Oh shit, yeah. Robin said Bannon is one of the traffickers knee deep in this. Yeah, I've heard he's got quite a bit of splaining to do as it surrounds the Epstein files. I mean, those things, it's crazy too, because I'm still seeing like MAGA weirdos. They're like, actually, it's the Democrats that are going to get hit with this, like as if I give a fuck. I'm like, dude, if the Democrats hit them with it, hit them all with it. I don't care if they're in there, and there's evidence that they did like crimes and stuff. Get them out of here, put them away. That's all. I don't give a shit. It's so weird that they're so blindly loyal without any like critical thought at all, that they assume that everybody else is exactly like that. And that's just not the case. Okay. I do not have a Democrat fetish. Like, they are literally just who I vote for, because they're just not the worst of the worst of the worst, which is the MAGA Trump party,
generation and on. And I'm a Christian, and I pray the Lord's Prayer every day. And here lately, I've been thinking a lot about Charlie Kirk and what Erica said. She forgave the man that killed her husband, which is unbelievable. But I've been thinking.
It's like Megyn Kelly, the lady, and I don't know if y'all caught this. Megyn Kelly was one of the ones saying that that they were going too soft on the voter people that they blew up, that they claimed were complete, drug addicts or whatever, they were selling drugs in the US, even though their boat wouldn't even be able to get here. But apparently the major problem. But she said they were too easy on them because they were unalived too quickly. She was like, oh, can you just take their, she literally said this, could you just take their arm off and let them bleed out in the water for a bit? Again, this is the most psychotic, bloodthirsty party on earth. And it's why it's weird that, she's expecting sympathy or even worse, empathy from this lady who's just like, that is unbelievable. You never forgive. You don't ever forgive people when they do so, but.
A lot about how we say, forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. And we can say those words, but if we're not willing to live them in action, then we're not doing what we're supposed to do.
It's kind of funny too, because I was just thinking of like, so you recite a thing. You can't even think up your own prayers. Really? Like that's pretty pathetic in my mind. You know what I mean? Like, you're like, no, does anybody got a pre-written prayer for me to do? Because it's like, just thinking of my own words and having to come up, just give me a pre-written one. Jesus did pray. Oh, cool. Let me just do that one. Lord's Prayer, you say? Okay. No, yeah, that's good. That's a good name for it. He is the Lord.
So I've kind of changed my outlook. Thank you.
Oh, they're clapping.
And so
the Megyn Kelly crowd's like, are we supposed to clap for that? I'm very confused right now. I feel like the morality is just all blurred at this moment.
Went on and I decided I would like to have a nice conversation with these women, share my views with them and their audience. try to put those words into action.
And your views are not, and I want this to be very clear, her views are not, but what were you wearing when Epstein was doing, what were you wearing as a child, you know, when Epstein was doing that stuff? I know, but I mean, you need to take some responsibility, young lady. Okay.
Okay. Here's my question for you though, because it's no accident they invited you on now, because you've been saying some things critical of Speaker Johnson. You've had some criticism of Trump, critical on the Epstein files, as we saw there. And it did remind me a little bit of what Roger Ailes.
She's critical of the Epstein files. Yeah. The PDF file trafficking ring. Yeah. Yep. She was critical of it, which is kind of crazy, because that's actually something that most of the GOP is not critical of, which is kind of strange.
Once told me, he said, when the left-wing blogs start praising you, that's when you have to worry.
Yeah.
So,
those compassionate, once the compassionate people start having that stuff for you, boy, you have really messed up. Okay, now making it sound like you actually have a heart and stuff, and actually give a shit about sexual assault victims. That was crazy.
Your constituents need to worry that you're moderating over to the left side?
What's up, Blood Badger? How we doing, dude?
No, there's
no, I will never. No, I'm just not. Again, I slightly disagree with like 2 or 3 things on our own side. That's it. No, like now I'm a traitor.
That's impossible, everybody. No, here's where I'm at. I'm so America first. I'm America only. Yep.
Wow, that was wow. Good for you. Yeah, you're gonna coin that. Is that gonna be? Jesus.
And Megyn, to be honest with you, I campaigned all over the country for 5 years for President Trump. Did that. He didn't ask me to. I did it on my own. Love the man. Spent millions of dollars.
Yeah, she really did. She like grabbed she grabbed his pussy, not his actual one, but like of a cardboard cutout. It was very unsettling, and it was crazy too, the way that they'll sit there and be like, drag queens are sexualizing kids, and at their little a town hall or whatever the hell it was, where she set up a cardboard cutout of Trump and is grabbing his nether regions. But that's not sexualizing kids or anything. You know that's allowed. You can grab dicks all day. That's not a big deal.
I don't even know how many rallies I've been to. I totally lost count. Went to so many states. I can't even remember how many I went to. I want our agenda passed into law. That's what I want. And I am very upset as a member of Congress that we are not passing our bills that are the agenda that the people voted for.
How can you?
Not our executive orders.
It's like, how can you? What?
Orders, his executive.
He's like, they have all branches of government, dude. They got all 3 branches of government. And they're still like, hello, we kind of need some stuff, because that was a big part of it as well. That, of course, forget to include. She's like, it almost sounds, this is hilarious. It's like, it almost starting to sound like maybe Trump is a little bit more loyal to the billionaires, doing this like pay for play thing instead of like the constituents of the people, like the average people that voted for him or whatever. He's like more giving the billionaires and the elites everything they want, which was kind of what he said that the left with the Democrats were doing, but it's him doing it. Yeah, he's a billionaire dipshit.
Orders. We all have bills that reflect them.
I mean, you could get them through the House potentially, but you're not going to get them through the Senate unless they get rid of that filibuster.
Well, it doesn't matter though. Here's the thing. I serve in the House. We should get our job done. It's not about, we should get our job.
Yeah, but we can't even get it through the House though, lady. So her rationale is, it don't matter. It's not going to pass anyway, because of that thing that we used to bulldoze the Democrats the last time. That, of course, now we're wanting to talk about, repealing it, which is unbelievable. But, that's how Republicans do. Hypocrites. They do the hypocrite thing. But now, yeah, her rationale is, well, you wouldn't even pass it anyway. So the fact that we can't even get anything to the Senate is not, it's fine. Who cares? It's not going to pass anyway.
Job done, and then to let the Senate do their job. And as a member of Congress, I believe in transparency for all the people here. They need to see our voting records. And they need to see these out. You were just showing Scott Wiener. I have a bill called Protect Children's Innocence
Scott Wiener. Okay, no, I'm not. Anyway.
Act that makes it a felony to perform gender affirming care on any minor. Makes it a felony.
Great.
Yeah, he's a piece of shit. See what I mean? Like, and the crazy thing was like, that was one of the things that she was mad at Trump about, because he didn't care about that bill enough. So yeah, that's like half of why I get like really irritated with people right now who are like, oh, it's so great. She's like a human. No, she's not. She's still a fucking monster.
That bill needs a vote. That bill needs a vote.
And honestly, Californians, you need to defeat the Wiener. You have to do it. You may love it. It's got to go.
I agree.
He's super dangerous. I wanted to show you.
That's the only one we'll cut off.
Oh, good one. Just, the transphobia, but it's just funny.
I wanted to show you one thing. I know you know how ridiculous and awful the left can be. You definitely know this.
Yeah.
But Sunny Hostin, she has you on over there. She is Sunny Hostile. She really is. No sooner as you leave, and you did them a favor. You spiked their ratings. You let them sort of telegraph to the United States that, okay, we
I don't even know who the hell that is. But I guess that's just the amount of stuff I don't watch.
You'd entertain a conservative here. And no sooner had you left than she went out there and started ripping on her. Here's a little bit of what that sounded like.
So see, so her move here is, you need to, but look what they do. Look what they do to you, the left. Okay, so just don't you forget about the radical left. I know your son was threatened. I know your son's life was threatened and everything because Trump called you a traitor and all that. But the left, though, they don't put gender in the specific boxes that they have to be put in. Just like your gender, you need to stay in the kitchen because that's part of you behaving how your gender is supposed to. Jesus Christ.
I don't think she's changed. I did ask her, are we seeing an evolution? And she specifically, I think, responded, no, I'm the same person. So, she's a big age. She's in her 50s. And so I think at a big age, in my experience, people don't change, but they may behave differently because they want something. Yeah. And I think she aspires to higher office. Perhaps it's the Senate. Perhaps it's even the presidency.
That's so funny. That was literally what y'all were just saying in the chat. Was it Robin? Yeah. Who just said that? Anyway, yeah, somebody just said, oh, there it is. Sounds like she's launching her own presidential. Pandora's Pinata. Yeah, they're saying it sounds like she's launching her own presidential campaign. Yep. I mean, and that's pretty much what everybody can see here. But this does, because again, we've reached this insane point where the only thing that matters is controversy. So as long as you can say the most disgusting, despicable shit that'll get people to go, hey, how dare they say that? And then start making their response videos, and then they make their response to the response videos. And then, you got that Wilson weirdo will come and be like, here's how you logic. Those sound okay. Is it logically possible that you can enjoy being raped? Shit like that. And yeah, it's just a mess. And now you got these dudes like showing up. I don't know if I mentioned this the other day. There was the terrible tragedy that happened at Ron. Oh God, I'm totally blanking on his name. Ron Howard, or not Ron Howard, other director. God, I always forget his name. The dude, excellent director. My God, I'm like losing my mind here. What the hell is his name? Anyway, he just passed away. He was murdered by his kid. Famous director, did Misery, a couple different Stephen King ones, as well as just a bunch of other stuff. Anyway, there was like a dude outside his house that apparently is just, he puts on like a Burger King like a crown, And he was just like out there saying, Rob Reiner, thank you so much. Appreciate that. I don't know. I'm like, I always want to say Ron Howard for some reason, because they're indirected. And they were also from a sitcom. Anyway, yeah. So, but yeah, it was this dude. He puts on like a Burger King crown thing, and he just like says the N-word. just willy-nilly, just randomly, right? Just to be the biggest piece of shit possible. And look, hey, he's in a place and after a terrible tragedy and everything, saying the N-word, calling the police, saying that people are touching his equipment. And it's just like, this is the time we're in. This is the time we're in. And that actually works. That works because nothing matters other than, everybody, ooh, look at this, doesn't matter why you're looking at this. Doesn't matter, doesn't matter like if they're like a good person or whatever, saying like interesting things or like specifically know more than other people about a particular subject or anything, expertise. Who gives a shit? Are they willing to go to the cringiest place possible and make everybody as uncomfortable as humanly possible so that we can all talk about it? That's all that matters. We're at a dark time. Jesus, it's pretty crazy.
I don't know, but I don't know that we saw a different Marjorie Taylor Green. I thought that we, saw just someone behaving differently.
Well, I will.
Behaving differently. So she questions your sincerity. You're after something, so you're acting.
Right.
You're
I've been
pretending,
dealing with this for weeks. So here's the only thing that I know to be true. The only person I can control is myself. I can't affect anyone else's words or opinions of me, but I very much know who I am as a person. She's right. I am at a big age. I am. And when you get to be in your 50s, you know who you are.
She's like agreeing with her about the age being a big thing. That is a big age in the 50s. She's like, you can see Megyn Kelly's just sort of stunned. You're saying she's right about something? You're not supposed to be doing that. Didn't you just hear she was saying stuff about you?
Call them your fucking 50s.
Yes. And
this is who I am.
That's right. Exactly.
Yeah, piece of shit. Yeah, we got that. Yeah, we got it.
And here's the deal. I ran for Congress in 2020, extremely angry at Democrats and Republicans. And I was mad at Republicans because they never follow through and put into action the things they promise. And
I was like, well, at least we know that MTG did not get any smarter. That's right.
And I'm sick of it. I really am. And so
hell no. I mean, if anything, this just demonstrates how stupid she is. That this whole thing demonstrates that she was actually a true believer and wasn't even just somebody like playing politics. Like she actually believed all the nonsense and is confused now about the most obvious shit that anybody could see, even if they're not paying attention. You'd be like, yeah, of course he doesn't care about that. Of course Trump's not actually a Christian. Of course, like, he's gonna do everything he can for the billionaires and say fuck you to everybody else. Of course. She's like, hold on, what? This is crazy.
For me, this is our one-time opportunity, Megyn. We got this one shot. And I feel like our majority is being ruined. I really do.
By you guys, because you're bad at everything on purpose. That's your whole job. There's a thing I don't think that it's crazy too. A lot of Republicans don't understand this. Their job is to do government badly. That's it. That's their whole job. Their job is to get in there, fuck up anything that's actually working, and then point to it and go, see, government doesn't work. We should privatize this shit, and make it so only the people that have more like resources than other people can have the stuff that everybody should be able to have access to the resources. What do you like that? That's their whole bag. They want to privatize everything. They fuck up public school so that they can point to it and go, see, public school doesn't even work. Just don't even, kids don't need education. Okay. Just teach them how to read and write yourself. Yeah, and you're good. Get them a couple Doctor Who books. You'll be set. Okay.
What exactly?
Inaction. I voted to fund the government on September 18th. And then guess what? We haven't been to work since.
But whose fault is that?
Mike Johnson's.
Why?
He's told us not to come back. He's keeping the House out of session. All the American
Okay.
people.
So this was all the way back then, but this has like kind of been showing the line, the progression here. So this is during the government shutdown. One that, and again, the Democrats dropped the ball on everything. They should be able to force the Republicans to own the shutdown, and of course they couldn't even do that. But like, yeah, she's even saying, no, it was the Republican, it was the Johnson dickhead, that the weirdo that looks at porn with this kid, or I'm sorry, doesn't.
Are working every single day.
Chuck Schumer. You don't think it's related to the shutdown?
Chuck Schumer's in the Senate, everybody. Yeah. Mike Johnson is in the House.
She doesn't even know what she's talking about. It's insane. She's like, oh, okay, hold on. Let me when Marjorie Taylor Green is like, you don't seem to understand how stuff works.
He's the Speaker of the House. And he can bring us into session where we can be passing our bills. We can have our committees at work. We can be working on getting rid of Obamacare and saving the health insurance crisis that we have.
Let me ask you about that because some people have said, okay, it sounds great, get rid of Obamacare. Most people hate it. But have you proposed anything?
Again, another thing that I'm so glad they brought up Obamacare, because that is such a perfect example of what I'm talking about. It is something they fucked up. The Republicans fucked it up on purpose so that what actually got put out to everybody was shit. It was a garbage system. Like they were trying to make a system so that that it would be like single payer or whatever, and it would be a government option, period. And instead, what we got was, oh no, we're going to make it so that the insurance companies, well, they'll do what they call a subsidized option. And they promise that it'll be a good one. Each company will promise to make those poor, that poor people's option not terrible. And of course it was terrible. And we're like, yeah, that's why you don't leave it up to fucking private industry and then hand them a bunch of money from our taxpayer dollars so that they can promise to like provide a good low tier insurance for everybody, just for anybody. Because they won't. They have to do it terrible. And their whole thing is, well, you should be able to choose, they should be able to choose. What are you talking about? Nobody chooses in the fucking first place. Like it's insurance. What? Who the hell? Like, and what poor people are out there choosing? Like, hold on, no, I need to get the company they don't have time for that shit. It's whatever the fucking business is doing. We needed a public option for everybody. Anyway, and of course they screw it up. Then they point to it and go, see, Obamacare stuff, it sucks. It's bad. And it's like, yeah, because of you.
Specifically to replace it?
So here, let's talk about Obamacare. It was passed in 2010, and then it went into effect in 2014. 2014, my family's health insurance policy went from $800 a month to over $2,400 a month. Destroyed our health insurance, destroyed the industry. Many companies went out of the market. There hasn't been competition in the market since. And then we saw in 2021
is that messed up when you would find the people? No, you had to find the people that didn't have it. That was the point. But this is what I'm saying, because like this is why they screwed it up. So Obama messed up when he fined people's tax returns if they didn't get Obamacare. No, they put that that was half of it. The other half was that it was going to be a public option that was like 100% from the government, and that would have like paid for that. But like but we had to go through the private industry, which fucked it all up. They took profits from it and then still gave everybody crap, and you still got taxed for it. So it was, again, the Republicans that did this. That aspect of it was part of the original package that would have been great had it actually done what it needed to do, but Republicans fucked it up.
Democrats passed the ACA tax credits. What did that do? That has skyrocketed costs, and they expire this year. The Democrats did that. Everyone needs to understand that.
They basically artificially lowered the cost of Obamacare. Okay, hold on over there. We can't hear you. I'm doing this interview. They lowered the cost of Obamacare with
shut up, blonde lady.
These
other blonde lady
subsidies to try to make you think it's less expensive than it is, and those are about to expire.
They pay the insurance companies directly, so the tax credits
because we had to, because that was the stupid Republican like meeting in the middle shit that Obama just had to do all the time because he couldn't just do the thing, Fuck the Republicans. Do the thing. Get the stuff done. They don't give a fuck about you. Get your stuff through the way they do and say, fuck them. You stop with this handshaking bullshit. They don't want to shake your hand. They're slapping it away. So say fuck you to them.
They don't go to the people. They go directly to the insurance companies.
It's the one time of year that Birch Gold Group gives away free sheltered IRAs from the U.S. savings to claim.
Oh, is that it?
Tax.
All right, Jill. Well, that was my political thing for the moment. I am going to be back in a little bit, and we're going to do the regular show. We'll be make fun of Fundie Tube, and it's going to be more fun. But I wanted to get this out because I thought, it would be well, I want everybody to go check out that article. And also remember, she still sucks. She's still not good. She's not. This doesn't redeem her in any way, shape, or form. But and yeah, that is my story, and I'm sticking to it. If you want to support the show, there's a lot of different ways you could do that. But the main way is to first of all hit bash that like button, and I'd really appreciate that. Subscribing is also great. And then you could do any of the things on this list, but all those links are below. So hey, thank y'all so much for hanging out. This was a lot of fun. And hey, remember that the main thing is to stay logical, stay loving, stay skeptical, and compassionate. And we will see you next time. Very soon, in a few minutes, like a half hour. Hey, Kelly.